We appreciate your attending our financial results briefing. I would like to report our financial results overview and explain our financial results in fiscal year 2018 and the financial forecasts for fiscal year 2019. This is an overview of our financial results. In fiscal year 2018, net sales rose from the previous year, reflecting an increase in production in China and Europe. We achieved a 5% operating profit ratio for 2 consecutive fiscal years. This was despite an increase in various costs, particularly due to progress with the action plan for the future and new product development in Japan. In fiscal year 2019, we estimate a decline in net sales and profits year on year. Although we plan to maintain our earnings strength by enhancing our product appeal and added value, we anticipate negative impact from a decline in sales due to FX volatility and plan to strategically increase our upfront investments, in part for product development and production preparation to strengthen our competitiveness. In fiscal year 2018, we plan a full-year dividend of 54 yen per share, a rise of 4 yen by the previous year. In fiscal year 2019, we aim to boost our full-year dividend 2 yen to 56 yen per share. Next, I will report our financial results in fiscal year 2018. Net sales were 1.3995 trillion yen, a rise of 41.6 billion yen from the previous year. Operating income was 71.1 billion yen, a decline of 700 million yen. Ordinary income was 72.8 billion yen, a fall of 4.3 billion yen. Profit attributable to owners of the parent company totaled 42.7 billion yen, a decrease of 2.5 billion yen. The exchange rate is as follows. The impact from a weak yen compared with a year earlier was a positive impact of 26.7 billion yen to net sales and 1.7 billion yen to operating income. Next, I will report on the production volume of seat assembly, which is our main product. The volume totaled 7.4 million units, a rise of 130,000 units from the previous year on a consolidated basis. The following is production volume by region. In Japan, production volume totaled 3.15 million units, on par with a year earlier. This in part reflects an increase in new models and SUVs launched in 2017, despite the decline in production for medium compact class cars. In the Americas, production volume was down 20,000 from the previous year. Although production volume rose in South America, production was wrapped up or reduced for some models in North America. In Asia and Oceania, production volume rose 10,000 units versus the previous fiscal year. Although production volume declined in the Oceania region, production volume in China rose mainly for compact cars. In Europe and Africa, production volume rose 150,000 units from the previous year, owing to an increase in new models that were launched in 2017. Next, I will report net sales and operating income by region. In Japan, net sales rose 36.7 billion yen from the previous year, owing to an improvement in value provided from additional specifications and benefits from new products. Operating income declined 3.8 billion yen versus a year earlier. This was due in part to an increase in labor and overhead costs, reflecting progress in new product development and in the action plan for our future. In the Americas, net sales declined 9.6 billion yen compared with a year earlier. Although net sales rose in South America with an increase in volume, production was down in North America due to the end of production for some models. Operating income declined 1.8 billion yen due to negative impact from a drop in production and an increase in startup costs for new products. Next, in Asia and Oceania, net sales rose 11.2 billion yen due to a benefit from forex trends. There was a negative impact mainly due to the end of production in Australia. Operating income was 700 million yen lower due to a negative impact from an increase in the ratio of compact cars in China, although there was a benefit from forex trends. In Europe and Africa, net sales increased 10.2 billion yen from the previous year. Although there was a negative impact from a decline in sales due to business reorganization in Europe, there was a contribution from an increase in production of new models launched in 2017. Operating income grew 5.8 billion yen, owing in part to liquidation of unprofitable businesses and a benefit from an increase in production. Next, I would like to explain the factors affecting increases and decreases in operating income. In comparison with the operating income of 71.9 billion yen from the previous year, the following factors contributed to the 800 million yen in profit growth. Production increase in China and Europe. Production factors including a change in model and product mix in Japan. Meanwhile, the budget to strengthen competitiveness and business foundation in accordance with growth strategies is larger than the previous fiscal year. Cost reduction efforts offset a decline in profit, including negative impact from changes in product prices and further fortification of our basic earning strength. As a result, although operating income declined 700 million yen, we achieved an operating profit ratio of 5% for 2 consecutive fiscal years. Next, I will explain our full-year financial forecast for fiscal year 2019. We forecast net sales of 1,360 billion yen, operating income of 62 billion yen, which is 9.1 billion yen lower, ordinary income of 62 billion yen, which is 10.8 billion yen lower, profit attributable to owners of the parent company of 38 billion yen, which is 4.7 billion yen lower. We forecast that the foreign exchange rate will be 105 yen to the US dollar and 130 yen to the euro. We estimate the exchange rate is likely to negatively impact net sales by 20.5 billion yen and negatively impact operating income by 1.3 billion yen. Next, I will report on production volume of seat assembly. We estimate seat assembly production volume of 7.41 million units, a rise of 20,000 units year-on-year on a consolidated basis. The following are estimates by region. In Japan, we anticipate a 20,000 unit decline in production volume from the previous year. Although production is likely to grow for large class vehicles, we expect a production decline of SUVs and MPVs. In the Americas, we estimate a 30,000 unit decline in production volume from the previous year, as we expect a decline in the production of SUV models in North America. In Asia and Oceania, we expect a 110,000 unit increase in production volume from the previous year. This reflects our forecast for a rise in compact car production in China. In Europe and Africa, we anticipate a 40,000 unit decline in production volume from the previous year, as we expect a negative impact from the end of production for certain models in 2017. Next is the net sales and operation income forecast by region. In Japan, net sales will be 5.3 billion yen lower due to the impact from a decrease in production. The operating income will be 2.7 billion yen lower. Although we plan to secure profit on an improvement in value provided, we also expect an increase in upfront cost for strengthening our competitiveness. In the Americas, net sales will be 30.7 billion yen lower compared with a year earlier, in part reflecting expectations of the negative impact from foreign exchange fluctuations and a production decline in SUV models. The operating income will be 5.4 billion yen lower, owing in part to the negative impact from a sales decline and an increase in startup costs for a switch in models. In Asia and Oceania, net sales will be 1.1 billion yen higher, owing in part to positive impact from production growth in China. Operating income will be 500 million yen higher, owing in part to a favorable effect by new car models. In Europe and Africa, net sales will be 5.9 billion yen lower, owing to a negative impact from a decline in production with the end of production for certain models. Operating income will be 1.5 billion yen lower due to an increase in startup costs for new products with a switch in car models and a negative impact from a decline in production. The following is our net sales and operating income forecast by half year. I will explain the factors affecting increases and decreases in operating income. Compared to the operating income of 71.1 billion yen from the previous year, we expect the following factors to result in a profit decline of 3.0 billion yen. Although we expect a benefit from an increase in production and new models, we anticipate a negative impact from production fluctuations due to the impact from a change in model and product mix. Meanwhile, we plan to further fortify our basic earning power, including plans to offset the negative impact from changes in product prices with cost reduction efforts. We expect an increase in overhead costs, including new product development. As a result, the operating income will be 9.1 billion yen lower. Next, I will explain our dividend. Our basic policy is to maintain a long-term, stable dividend. We aim to gradually improve our dividend payout ratio to around 30% by 2020. In fiscal year 2018, we raised our dividend by 4 yen compared to fiscal year 2017. We plan an annual dividend per share of 54 yen, which is a hike of 4 yen both year-on-year and versus our previously disclosed dividend plan. This is an all-time high dividend payout for a full fiscal year. In fiscal year 2019, we plan an annual dividend per share of 56 yen, which is a rise of 2 yen versus our dividend plan for fiscal year 2018. In fiscal year 2019, we forecast a decline in profit due to an increase in strategic upfront costs. However, our basic earning strength is improving substantially. That concludes my presentation about our financial results and forecasts. Thank you very much for listening.